Frank, let's start with why we're actually here today. This huge fight between your two men there on the puzzle behind you, Anthony Yarde, Lyndon Arthur, another all-domestic showdown on this April 11th card. Cracking fight. Talk to me about the making of it and what we can expect as well. Another seek and destroy fight?
It is another seek and destroy. Well, it's a great fight, great domestic bout. They're both in the WBO rankings, and I believe the winner of this will get himself into the position where he's going to be the number one to this box-off that's taking place in the light heavyweight division.
Both guys have displayed significant power during their professional careers so far, quite similar to the main event in a way. Do you see any other way this can be anything other than a top fight, a fan-friendly fight as well?
Look, they've got massive. I think they've had 36 fights. Is it 36 fights between them, and 29 knockouts. So you know you're going to get excitement. They don't come to look at each other, these guys. They come to throw the bombs, and it's going to be a fantastic fight. I think the fans are going to be in for a real treat with a pair of them. They're entertaining fighters, the both of them.
Hi Frank, what is the idea behind Anthony Yarde coming down to fight a domestic type of fight? I mean, from the Kovalev fight.
Well, it's not domestic. You know, Lyndon's got a world ranking. So what would, if he was fighting somebody who's also had a world ranking from abroad, that's what it'd be. He's fighting a guy who's British, who adds a bit more spice to it, who also has a world ranking. So it's a great fight, and he's undefeated. Was he 18-0 now, I think, or something like 16-0? Sorry. So you've got these guys have got. They're made for each other. They're made to fight each other.
Would you rather have them gone different routes and fought somebody else? I mean, you're two young up-and-coming guns fighting each other.
Well, they are. You're right what you're saying, but you know, it's a funny thing. You make fights, and then people say, "Why are you putting them together?" You don't make them. They say, "Why they're not fighting each other?" We're making the fights happen. They're not frightened to step up. They're stepping up to the plate. The winner, as I say, will go in that position, and it's not the end of the world for the loser. We will stand by these guys, and whoever wins go on to big things, and the loser has no problem in coming through as well. You know, you go back to, I remember years ago I made a fight between James DeGale and George Groves, very early in their careers. Winner and a loser. George got the result. Both of them went on to fight and win world titles. There's no harm in losing. It's how you lose.
Frank, first of all, many congratulations on what was a successful and a fantastic night a few weeks ago in Las Vegas. Tyson Fury becoming the new heavyweight champion of the world. According to Eddie Hearn, there's been positive talks with Bob Arum in terms of making the Anthony Joshua fight. Frank, your comments on that?
Well, Bob Arum and I did a press call last night with the press, and as Bob said, there's been no conversations have taken place, nor can they take place unless all interested parties sit round the table together. What he's saying, Eddie Hearn, is untrue. Untrue, lie, whatever you want to call it, but it just didn't happen. And Bob made that very clear last night. And they can't have these conversations without all the parties concerned sitting around the table. It's not going to. This agenda is not being driven by anybody. It's going to be all interested parties sitting down and making, with a common aim to make it happen. But before it happens, they've got contractual obligations, which I think I've been pointing out now for the last 3 months or so. That AJ's got a mandatory against Pulev. And he's got another one after that against Usyk if he comes through that. And obviously there was the rematch clause that has been invoked by Deontay Wilder. That's how it's been. That's been the truth of the matter. Do we want the fight? Of course we want to fight. Do we want to make it happen? Yes, we do want to make it happen. But it's going to be something that's going to be done collectively. You know, AJ's management, Freddie Cunningham and AJ, I'm sure they know what they want. The same as with Tyson. And at the end of the day, it's the two fighters who will decide what's going to be the position. But that's only going to happen when everybody sits at the table. There have been no discussions. As Bob said yesterday, it's just total rubbish.
Frank, just on Tyson, we saw you went up and seen him up north recently. Can you just tell us a bit about how his mood is at the minute and try and describe that elation that family's got at the minute as well after that huge fight the other week?
Well, his family are absolutely over the moon with everything. I think they're probably on cloud 8 at the moment. Paris, I went out with Paris and Tyson. We had some lunch, and he was in a very, very good mood, and he's looking forward to getting back in. Well, he actually ran that night, so he's back in training. He enjoys the training, and he was talking what he wants to do in the future. And obviously, he's got to fulfil his contractual obligations, but he wants the big fight, like everybody wants to see the big fight. But they're over the moon, the whole family. I met with John and Tommy, John Fury's dad. I mean, he's the proudest dad in the world, as you can imagine. You see that his documentary last night showed how proud he was. I mean, Tyson's done everybody proud. He's done his family proud. He's done the nation proud. I mean, that was a spectacular performance. The best performance I've seen from a British boxer at an elite level, fighting a guy who was in there undefeated, hardest punching heavyweight in the last, 35 years, and statistically probably the hardest punch, got the best knockout ratio of any heavyweights. Brilliant performance. That's up there. That's the best, and makes Tyson, I think, the best heavyweight of his generation by far.
Frank, you mentioned the documentary there. The final sort of episode aired last night, and it seemed from the response he's finally got that adulation from the whole nation now. How happy are you to see that he's finally getting that respect from the whole country? The whole country seems to be getting behind him.
Tyson Fury is an 11-year overnight sensation. That's what's happened, and everybody now sees and and knows where he comes from. He's worn his heart on his sleeve. He's been very, very genuine and honest where he's at and the problems that he's had and how he's overcome them, and more importantly, where he wants to be and where he wants to go. It doesn't get any better than that. He deserves all the accolades he's been getting, and more. It's funny, like he's back in. When I was up here in Morecambe, he's very happy there. It's not like he's out there jumping on the bandwagon even of it all. He's been very sort of quiet and laid back, but enjoying his moment, and quite rightly so. That's how it should be. He's a credit to boxing, to sport, British sport, and a credit to his country, what he's done.
Finally, for me, what do you make of the whole glove tampering allegations, costumes? The list goes on and on. Break it down for me, please.
It does. It goes on and on. Somebody told me that Deontay wound up in hospital last week when he tried a Canada Goose jacket on. I don't know how true that was. But the bottom line of it is the gloves is just the most stupid, ridiculous situation. In a dressing room, there is a representative from each camp. There's the representative from the commissions there. They watch the hands being wrapped. They watch the gloves being put on, the thumbs in the glove. I mean, it's just beyond stupid. I've never heard anything like it. I mean, what excuses do you want next? Tyson Fury went out and done what he said he was going to do, end of story. That's what happened. And the rest of it, all this other crap that goes down, is just, I don't know where these people come from with these, these sort of, what they call them, accusations. No, I think it's all that, these sort of, where they come out with all these, like there's something's gone on behind the scenes. It's just total rubbish. You see fighters take their gloves off, how tight it is, how they're taped up. What are you supposed to do, pull your hand out the glove? What did he do with his thumb? Do you know what? I don't even know why I'm wasting my breath even answering a stupid allegation like that. It's pathetic.
What more could you tell us about July 28th, the third fight, and when is that fight scheduled to be made?
The fight, nothing's been done yet. We'll wait until next week. There's a meeting that takes place next week, and that'll decide where it goes from there.
Would you consider giving Dillian Whyte a shot at the title if the fight with Anthony Joshua can't be made and Tyson Fury does come through a third fight with Deontay Wilder?
There is contractual commitments, and they've got to be honoured, and that's where it's at the moment.
Frank, get well soon. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you, fellas.